What is going on, everybody? Episode 104 of many. It is officially, this would be our 52nd, we are on the 1 year full anniversary here now of the podcast. So today marks the end of that 52 weeks or whatever I'm trying to say, right? This is like the 104th episode, right? 2 episodes a week, 52 total weeks. So I was going to make today's episode the whole story again. I was going to go back and redo episodes 1 through 4 and make it like one nice long episode of like the history of Grizzly and Priority and how it all started and how it all began. I'm going to do that next episode. So I've got a nice long chunk of time planned tomorrow, Tuesday. I'm recording this on Monday, but I've got a nice long chunk planned for tomorrow to record that. So today's episode, let me adjust myself. We're going to keep it short and sweet. I just got back from Orlando. I was out there on a work trip. I was with all of our gym owners, our mastermind group, and I flew in late Thursday evening. I wanted to spend as much time as I could here as possible. So I had the opportunity to go out Wednesday and stay at the mansion or the houses that they had for us. I had the opportunity to go out Wednesday and spend all day there, and then Thursday we would have gone to Epcot together, and then anyways, I passed on those opportunities even though they were included in this trip. I wanted to spend as much time as I could here with Grizzy's, just making sure everything is going smooth. So before I get into what I learned, yes, I flew in late Thursday night. I did not hang out with the group Thursday night. I just kind of got there, went to bed. The Uber ride from the Airbnb or from the airport to the Airbnb or to our stay was the traffic is horrible at 6:30, 7 o'clock in Orlando. Trying to leave Orlando. I mean, it was horrible. And I was in the back of a Uber, and it was like constant starting and stopping. So by the time I got there, 1, I was worn out from traveling all day. 2, I was feeling sick from the back of the Uber. I'm not much of a backseat rider. I'm always the driver. So not really watching where we're going and paying attention, and then being on my phone in the back seat, it's just a bad mix. And then, like I said, the constant starting and stopping. So that was rough. I got there finally after like an hour and a half, when really the drive from where we stayed to the airport, when there's no traffic, is only like 25-30 minutes. So it took us like an hour and 15, and it's too much. And of course, my Uber driver, when she came to pick me up at the airport, she missed me the first time around, so she had to go all the way back around the airport and come back in. And so that was like another 15 minutes, and I was like, oh my gosh, I just want to get out of here. So that was Thursday. Friday, we had a speaker by the name of Joey Coleman. We've had him before in Outer Banks last year. He has, and I'm not going to get too much into him, I'm going to come back to it, but he has the mindset of like never, his book that we studied for the last time he came and spoke to us was Never Lose a Customer Again. So he just talks about the customer journey and how to maintain and retain your customers and how to take care of them, and a lot of awesome stuff. The book is really good. If you're in any kind of business, which obviously all businesses service some sort of customer, but if you're in like a B2C, right, like a business to the consumer or the customer direct, actually even like B2B businesses, there's a lot of things to consider on, again, everybody, there's a face to every business, right, or every relationship. Even so, if I'm B2B and I'm wholesaling, if I'm in manufacturing and I'm selling product to this other big business, usually I'm dealing with like the same one or two people, right? So again, this concept of like taking care of your people and in making those relationships better, again, as a customer, I think there's a lot we can all take away from it. So no matter what position you're in, you're probably dealing with like the same people over at some other business, right? Doing the deals or whatever you got to do. I think if you can work on increasing that relationship and making it even better, I'm not saying like bribe them, but once you get to know them, if you can send them gifts, if you can wish them a happy birthday, if you can ask them how their family's doing, right? Like you start to get to know them, and it's more of a personal friendship relationship, not just a business relationship. I just think it kind of breaks the norm of like, we're just doing business and we got to act a certain way. And I think it's good to get to know people and be an actual human being and be authentic, right? That's kind of what I always talk about. So anyways, Joey Coleman this time around was talking about never lose an employee again. Very similar to never lose a customer again, all of the same ideas. So we talk about like the lines of communication. How do we communicate with our employees? How do we communicate with our staff? How do we, so this is kind of an interesting thought, and I guess I'm just diving right into Joey Coleman and kind of some takeaways, some thoughts, but we're working on this, and we're thinking like, you get a new job, right? And there's what's called like a, buyer's remorse, essentially for the business and for the individual. So not buyer's remorse, but like new job remorse, right? Like, did I make the right decision? Did I hire the right person? Am I going to enjoy my new job? Right? So that was kind of like a thought there. It's like, what happens in that 1 week, depending on, if you take a new job, usually you give a 2-week notice at your other employer, sometimes longer. If you're, I'm not saying if you're a decent person, I know there's different situations all the time, but depending on what your current employer is and what's happening, sometimes you might give a 2-month, 3-month notice. You might give a 4-week notice. You might, I don't condone this, but you should never burn a bridge. You shouldn't come in and just quit on the spot and not show up. But anyways, so when you come and get a new job, so this is like the thought, right? You come, you sign up, or you have your meeting, your couple interviews, and you get hired, right? What happens from that time you got hired, like today at 10 a.m. to like your first day? Like I said, it could be tomorrow, it could be 2 weeks from now. What happens in that time frame, right? And so this is like what we're learning is like what makes us different as an employer, because again, that employee, that new hire might go home and like they're wondering, is this a good, for example, for our gyms, right? We hire a new team member, a new coach, let's say, we'll use coach as an example. And now they're like, oh, I come into, as a new coach, you might be thinking, oh, I'm going to come into work tomorrow or next week or whatever, and I don't even know any of the other coaches. I don't even know, any of the other staff, right? So like, for example, why don't we have our new coaches or like our current coaches, or maybe like our main coach, right, at, say, with Toma, maybe Chloe should text our new coach and say, hey, it's Chloe, I can't wait to meet you. I'm the main coach here, or I've been coaching here for X amount of time. Like, again, kind of break that ice. Or maybe when we do that interview and we hire you as a coach, maybe we should have the coaches come in as well and like be excited. Say, hey, I'm so happy to have you. We're like so happy to have you part of the team, right? Like, again, how as an employer, how are we like making that transition smooth and taking care of our employees, right? Or our new employees. So then also, like, what happens in that first 2 weeks? If it's 2 weeks until you start, am I reaching out to you at all? Do I send you a video? Do I send you a team picture? Does our team all reach out to you? Again, just like thinking about that onboarding process and what that looks like is so important. And it's something, again, that we just like get caught up in the day-to-day and we don't think about that. So it goes the same thing for a gym member, right? You sign up for personal training package, or you sign up for like a consultation, and let's say your consultation's like in a week from now, or actually, let's say you come in and sign up for our personal training package today, and your first day is not till next Monday, right? Hey, I'm going to start in a week, but I'm going to sign up today. What happens in that week? Again, there's buyer's remorse, right? Like, how are we as a business reaching out to you as a customer and like assuring you made the right decision, taking care of you, like going above and beyond, right? So that was like the whole premise of Joey Coleman, whether it was not losing another customer again, not losing an employee ever again. It's like, what makes us different as an employer? How do we take care of our employees? Anyways, it's a very important thing. And I really pride myself in having a good, strong team, caring about everybody on the team. But there are little tweaks and things that we can make a difference and become a better business, So thinking about the entire employee journey, I've been here for 2 years. Like, what does that mean? Like, do we give you something? Like, is there like a 2-year, is there like rewards? I know like some big businesses might give you a bonus for being on, right? Like, just what is that entire employee journey like? And a lot of, kids my age, we'll say, or people my age, right? The new work culture is not to have a job for 40 years. The new work culture is go from job to job to job and get a raise and keep going. And, we do want to take care of our staff long term. We want our staff to be here as long as possible. We also know that people have to grow and move on and do all that as well, right? So again, I don't need to go too much deeper into like the Joey Coleman conversation. It was awesome having him there. And again, thinking outside the box and what we need to do. It's important, So I do want to talk a little bit about Jeff Hoffman real quick. So for those of you who don't know who Jeff Hoffman is insane. He is, if you go to an airport and there's a kiosk in it, he is the guy who created the original kiosk, right? He created Priceline.com. So a lot of you, again, will go by hotels. Kind of like your hotels.com, booking.com, right? Like, he also he was the original creator of that stuff as well. So Priceline and the original kiosk in the airport, dude's again a multi-billionaire. I don't think online it shows what he's worth, but anyways, dude's insane. Dude's great. he was a speaker for an event in this mastermind a couple years ago. So I already had listened to like the 8 or 10 hours of recordings from his last talk with this group. And I listened to it like 3 times over because there's just so many nuggets to take out of it and just so many takeaways. So a lot of the things he talked about this time were the same. So I already had kind of an in on this, right? So I did take some awesome notes on Jeff Hoffman. His biggest thing is hiring rock stars. A lot of small business people, a lot of small businesses, they'll hire 3 average people because they can't afford the one rock star. And this is a little bit different, right? His business was like coding engineers, like very different than, somebody to come help clean the restaurant or something, right? Like 2 totally different worlds. But regardless, there's still a different thought there, right? Like, so we talked about, actually Joey Coleman talked about this a lot, was like the cost to rehire an employee, right? So if I'm here for a year and I'm not happy and I leave, what is that replacement cost? How do we take care of that, right? So anyways, Jeff's thought is hire rock stars in those important positions. A rock star can take care of much more work on their plate than an average individual. And so like for Grizzies here, that's one thing I've been calling out for is like, we want A players, we want rock stars, we want people to go above and beyond and be a part of something amazing. We know that everybody is served. We know everybody has been a bartender or a waitress or whatever. You've been in the industry, I get it. But we want people who like really want to be a part of something amazing. They can hold themselves accountable, right? So like we're calling for A players for this business so we can turn it around, so we can make it different, so we can make it awesome. And so anyways, one of his big messages is hire less people, get rock stars. 1 rock star equals 3 average people. And again, he hit a lot on like the employee life and like what is important to him. You've got a lot of gurus out there that believe like you got to wake up as early as possible and you got to work really hard and you got to beat everybody. Mr. Hoffman believes that like employees need well-rounded lives. Like they need to be able to have time off. And like one of his rules, which is really cool, and I'd like to get to this point too, was if your staff works through lunch, lunch is on him. So instead of taking an hour break for lunch, if they're working, he buys the the $5 footlong or whatever it is, or the pizzas, and again takes care of his team. So one of his notes here: an employee driven by passion and purpose will outperform the paycheck-driven employee. Right, so like that's what we strive here to do as well. We want to pay our staff as well as we can, and we want to continue working on that. But we also want staff that's part of the vision, staff that like sees it, they get it, they can see the bigger vision, they can see how they can fit into it, and that's something that we struggle with sometimes too. Is like one of his really cool. I don't remember if it was him or Joey Coleman, but they actually showed when they did their interviews with like their new hires and stuff. They actually showed a future organization chart, so an org chart 3 years from now of with projected growth and the new positions they're going to need, right? So then when they hired you, you could see like where you could grow into or what position you could have on the team. And I just thought that was a really cool tool as well. It's like, here's our current org chart, but here's our 3-year org chart, and here's all the spaces that we're not going to have people for. And maybe you starting here, but maybe you can see yourself being with this company in 3 years, right? So again, making sure we have a good, clear vision and how people can grow with us is very important. Knowing that like the ceiling, to me, anybody who comes to me and says, I want to make X amount of dollars a year, I think anything's possible. Like that's just my mentality and my mindset. And if you're willing to do it and you're willing to work hard and you want to go achieve it and you don't know how, but you're on my team, I'm going to figure out how in the future that we can get you to that spot. I can't just snap my fingers and pay you X dollars, but I do know with the right people, the right drive, the right motivation, that we can like take that energy and put it into good use and we can like build something awesome together, right? So again, that's just my mindset when it comes to working with my team. And anyways, so let's see what other kind of notes here real quick. I just wanted to like tell you guys, I mean, this wasn't a vacation for me, right? Like this was truly a work trip. This was going to learn as much as I could, write down as many takeaways as I could. And I absolutely love it. I come back refreshed. I come back with a fresh mind, open mind. And again, I've got some awesome stuff to implement. Now, one thing you have to be careful of for somebody in my position on this is I can't come back and like just blab all of this stuff to all my staff because it's overwhelming. They didn't get to go on the trip. Like, it's just like, oh, you leave and you come back with all these new ideas and like it's not ideal for our staff, right? So I am going to take some time, like probably this week, sift through these notes and understand what we need to implement and how we need to implement. Jeff Hoffman, a lot of things he was talking about is build a company that has been the best job they've ever had, best experience of our lives, and never want to leave, right? So how do we create a community? How How do we create a business? How do we create like that atmosphere? People love being here. They want to continue being here. And if they ever leave, that they wish that they were still with us, right? Now, again, we know that people have to leave and move on. That's not the point. But again, we want to create that work environment, and that's what we're working towards here at Grizzly, Priority, and Grizzy's, right? Let's see. One of the notes I wrote was negative energy brings everyone else down, right? So it's like the cancer in the team you have to be very careful of, right? If somebody on the team is bringing the rest of us down, we're actually hindering the performance of like our A players or our other people on the team, right? So for example, he had a sales rep that was like doing 3x everybody else, and he was just doing that well, but he found out that he was actually being a dick to everybody else, and he was like, just holding everybody else back in a sense, or like causing like a weight that not everybody else wanted. Well, one day he called him into his office, gave him a 30-day, said, hey, you've got 30 days to clean up your act and be like a decent person. He's like, oh, what are you going to do? Fire me? You can't do that. I'm the best salesman you got, right? 30 days goes by. Guy didn't change. Hoffman fires him. And what he finds out is he tells his team, hey, we're going to have to do some extra stuff and, whatever. The team they actually started breaking sales records because, again, they had that weight off their shoulders. They had an amazing atmosphere again because, again, that one person can really affect that. So that's something that we need to do a better job of, is if there's negativity, if there's some kind of cancer in the organization, like when we get that feeling of that, we need to have that conversation right away and cut that off because, again, we need our team to feel good, perform well, right? And so stuff like that. He also believes in finding one thing that you're really good at and going all in on that. Like Amazon, for example. Amazon, their service, like that, their talent is delivery, right? Like they sold books as their one thing. Books was their product, and delivery was their service, right? So delivery is what Amazon prides himself in. Jimmy John's, so this is kind of interesting. Jimmy John's, freaky fast. Walmart, low price. Planet Fitness, no judgment, right? Like these things that these brands go all in on one talent, one thing, and that's what makes them who they are. And so again, trying to figure out what that one thing is for us and defining that, I think is very important as well. My computer is about to die here. So again, I just wanted to kind of blab at you guys and kind of tell you some awesome stuff that I learned this weekend. What was really cool too is while I was gone, I was constantly watching the restaurant revenues and just trying to see what was going on. I was in constant contact as well with our staff back here and just seeing what's happening, what's going on, right? I was gone for our fish fry and I was not nervous about it, but I wanted to make sure our team was set up for success. Something really cool is I was getting these texts while I was gone from our team and like, oh my gosh, Colton, it was so good. I wish you were here. Like you'd be so proud of us. We've improved so much in the last couple of weeks. And again, that feeling to me of like our team just feeling good. They've accomplished something else. They've improved their lives or their business. Like they just feel better about being here. And that feeling to me is like the best. I just care so much about our team, bringing everybody together, again, for like shared vision and like doing better stuff. And apparently we did really well Friday. We kept it smooth. We kept it operational. And again, I'm just so proud of how far we've come in just 4 weeks' time. So I got to let you guys go. Next episode, as long as everything goes as planned, will be a nice long episode. And the entire journey, again, of when we started when I was 18 and how we got to this point, right? So I appreciate you guys. Episode 104 in the books. If you want to add me on Snapchat, Colton.Burt, COLTON.BURT. Instagram, Facebook, ColtonBurt19. I appreciate you guys. We will talk to you soon. Have a good one.